You are listening to a Bamsters podcast. And if you've been listening to us for a while we would like to thank you, might I suggest a trip to check out your mental health.
Okay, I just had to restart my local recording as well. Just playing with audio settings. Am I coming through better now, at least?
Mate, I tell you what, it's like night and day. You actually sound vibrant.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
I tell you what, G, maybe you should always sound this delicious in the ears.
Well, I have the mic literally, 2 inches, not even, in front of me? And a small little pop filter in between. So all the pop sounds get filtered out.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a pop filter. You can use, a sock. Or actually just put your face away from the microphone and, do that.
I literally have a microphone sock.
Oh, well, there we go. And on that note, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 126, where G has a microphone sock. G, say hi.
It's better than your crusty sock.
Hey, listen, dude, my crusty sock goes in my microphone every single day. So, G, we were meant to have a comic shop talk today with Drac and TJ, but unfortunately, life happens, so it is down to you and me to entertain the masses. So let's entertain them, G. What is first on the chopping block today, my good sir?
Well, should we start with something more upbeat and happy? Yay!
Yay! Upbeat and happy, yay!
Because Bioware are still working on something for Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So, whatever they did to the last Mass Effect game that totally tanked that one, they seem to be okay with, and they're moving forward with more Mass Effect.
Okay, look, right, seriously, BioWare know what they're doing, okay? The Dragon Age 1 and 2, loved them. Dragon Age 3, not so much a fan. Haven't played the new Dragon Age because I'm still a bit jaded from the Dragon Age 3. 3? Yeah, the one that looked like a Japanese animation running around with the sword. Still a bit jaded from that one. Mass Effect 1? Nah. Mass Effect 2? Loved it. Mass Effect 3? Meh. The new one? Meh. But Bioware, they're gonna make a good game. You can't always have a hit on your hands every single day. They're gonna tank some games and they're gonna make other games awesome.
And I do agree. In my opinion, Dragon Age 2 is actually the best one. I know a lot of people will disagree. Because it was much more arcadey. I loved it. I have played all 3 first Mass Effects twice. Partly because one of them I bought on Xbox, and then I bought the Collector's Edition on PlayStation. And I think I own 3 copies of Dragon Age Origins, at least, for some reason. So I'm excited that there's more of it. I still have not played the last Mass Effect, because it looked like it didn't go very well, and I've just been waiting for them to improve it. They did, and then I never got around to buying it. But hey, more of it is absolutely perfect.
Look, I thought the ending for Mass Effect 3 was a bit rubbish, to be fair. And the fact that you couldn't save, the person, you had no opportunity, you had to sacrifice somebody, that was a bit annoying. Okay, that was annoying. But then that's the sort of decisions you have to make that will then suck you into the game and suck you into the story. You had to sacrifice someone. Regardless, you cannot save them. So, those are the sort of things you have to do. And to be fair, I think the idea with, Mass Effect is that they had such a great game. They had such a great story. They just didn't know how to end it, and end it well. Like all great Japanese animations that I've watched, they say Evangelion. I always thought it was called Evangelion, but never mind. Such a great story, great ideas, great animation. They just didn't know how to end it, and they came up with some airy, fairy philosophy ending, and it's like, okay, this is not how it should have ended, and I think that's the problem with the Dragon Age and the Mass Effects problem, the not the plague, but they build it up, they can't end it, sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I will sort of give you that on Mass Effect. My impression was Mass Effect 1 and into Mass Effect 2 storyline before the game got released, that was a climate change story, pure and simple, at its heart.
Agreed.
That was a story about technology and lifestyle ruining, in that case, the galaxy, the universe. It's breaking things. It was breaking a sun in Mass Effect 2. And suddenly, somewhere, they changed horses. They went away from that. They went back to there must be a classical evil. The Reapers. Not that the Reapers weren't the antagonists before, but before they might have been the ones trying to protect us from ruining everything. So there's somewhere there, the story changes, and that sort of broke Mass Effect 2. The game is good, but the story breaks when you look at the different side quests, particularly Talia's.
Yeah, let's not mention that side quest. I know exactly what side quest you're talking about. Let's not do that one. No. Because you're right there. I agree there.
They basically had that headache now. They changed the horses, but they did not have a final ending. I don't mind the ending. I actually did not mind it. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't mind it. I had no problem with the whole notion that you can't save everyone. Remember the movie Long Kiss Goodnight? Where she looks at her kid and just goes, "Life is pain, get used to it." And it's a little bit of that, there isn't any good fucking choices. There's bad choice and there's bad choice. Choose one of them. It seems like it was a attempt at being a parent there. Whereas on Dragon Age, it's a new story every time. It's a new setting, it's a new cast. People seem to dislike that. I think it's interesting that they do. I think it's brave that they do that. But there is an overarching story, and it continues. If you look at the endings on the Inquisition, it's really in there that there is more. The Dread Wolf, particularly if you have the add-ons to it, you can see. If you play as an elf, you catch up to him. I'm not going to say who because I just said Dread Wolf.
Spoiler!
Then you can see. Yeah, spoiler alert, right? Then you can see, wait, there's some intention here, there is some planning here, there is a path forward. Dragon Age 4 is just a continuation of the story, and it can absolutely work. Holy wow, did I just spend 2.5 minutes blabbering about that?
Seriously, I think Bioware needs to go and have a chat with CD Projekt Red and how to end the story, because if you think about it, there are some very, very stark similarities between the stories from Bioware and from Witcher. I think they're very similar in the way they are executed. So I think if they actually need some inspiration on how to end a game, they need to go and have a game of The Witcher 3, because that's a great game. Great game.
Guarantee you everybody on BioWare's teams have played that game.
Oh, I know a few people from CCP who've played that game and given it more than 5 thumbs up.
But anyways, before we go on, just a small note. Since you say BioWare know what they're doing, it's no longer the old BioWare, let's remember that. Most of the teams have left. But there was recently a tweet coming out randomly. If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what should it be? And for me, that was easy. Old BioWare's Neverwinter Nights. Done.
Ooh, that's a tough call. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I really enjoyed Mass Effect 2. I really enjoyed Dragon Age 1. Like, really enjoyed it. Dragon Age 3, too cartoony. Dragon Age 2, too, like you said, arcadey or Japanesey, whatever. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, G. I will adjourn this one because I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
Yeah, it was a curiosity. It came up. People go, if you could only play one game for the rest of your life, and people were coming, I could play Battlefield forever or COD forever. So, nope.
Not a BioWare game. Does not matter.
So something else. People who keep playing, the same games. Sorry, guys. In 1983? That's about the time you got born. The NES. That's not what it's called. It apparently came out. It's called the NESu. NES came out. And apparently it's still selling. That's scary.
Yes, the Nintendo guys. I knew there's they call it Famicom, alright? And I went from the Famicom to a Sega unit, Sega 16-bit, and then went from the 16-bit to the PS1, and I haven't really left the PlayStation. That's my gaming life. That's exactly my gaming life right there.
Well, here's the thing. The NES Classic, which is basically an Nintendo Entertainment System or Famicom, shrunk down with nowhere to put a cartridge in, so you can't play all your old games. But with, 30 games built in, like Super Mario Bros., Metroid, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Pac-Man. In the month of June, in the US, it was the most sold console. It outsold the PlayStation 4, the X1, the Switch. It's a bit, I can appreciate nostalgia, but isn't it getting a little bit overhand?
I'm so glad you went there before me. Because that's what I harp on about when it comes to Nintendo. Nintendo only sell nostalgia nowadays. Yes, it might have a pretty design over it from Apple, because let's face it, honestly, I think they're taking design cues from Apple when it comes to their console designs and whatever have you. But, they just sell nostalgia, and this kind of proves my point, just a bit.
Yeah, just some stats. I mean, as I said, the NES or NESu came out in 83. It kept selling the original ones, altered, etc., until 2003. So you can find some out there that are only 15 years old. And there was 61.91 million units sold. Most of them in the US, a lot of them in Japan, not very many in Europe and etc. Because over here we had other things. I had a Commodore 64. Didn't need one of those NESs. But they're out there, and there are emulators. I can appreciate the ease of it. It's a box, you don't have to think, it has an HDMI cable. But there's a point where it doesn't make sense for me, probably because I didn't have it. I have a Commodore 64 emulator on my computer, so I can play those old games.
I can see the segue you're trying to build up there, G. I can see it. I think what you're trying to dig at here, G, is the fact that Nintendo is suing $100 million with the finger in the mouth. 100 million ROMs, basically. They're suing ROMs in bits and pieces. So is that what you're trying to get at when you mentioned these emulators for the third time in a row?
Not necessarily. Just saying it's an option. But as you were pointing out, apparently it isn't.
No, Nintendo don't like you using ROMs to play their old games, even though it is perfectly legal for you to have a copy of your hard copy and then shared within yourself, sort of thing. So, you can't really have that. You can't really have the ROM. So they're suing because you have a ROM that can play an emulated game of, I don't know, the game you got, hard copy, whatever. So don't have a ROM copy of the game, guys.
Well, I guess it's mostly if you distribute it, then they get really uppity about it.
Well, why would you want to distribute it? I don't see a point. My favorite game on Famicom, but this is going to sound bad, was a reskinned version of another game called Flintstones. I love that game, dude. I just loved it. I know it's corny, right? I know it's corny, right? I just loved it. I don't know why. I loved it. I also loved Looney Tunes. I loved that. And I also loved, was it Mario 4 or something, where you could pick which character you were at and you could run around? Oh, I loved those games. I loved them. Absolutely loved them. Then I found Sonic and Tails. And, mate, I never really looked back from those two. Those two are my favourite games on Sega as well.
Yeah, I guess I went a little bit different. Ooh, C64, that would have been Mars Saga, and possibly one of the Batman games, because that was actually pretty good.
I remember playing RoboCop, I remember playing Batman, I remember playing, I don't know, something about making hamburgers, Yo Noid or Yo Nerd or something. I remember playing that. That was a tricky game, dude. That was a tricky game, Yo Noid, right? What else? Speaking of old consoles, right? My grandmother had a console that she had at her place, and it played like an E.T. game, and that was really old. And also played a game where you could die of dysentery and you could race horses and shoot tanks and whatever have you. That was a really old console. God knows what that's called. An Atari? I think, is that Atari?
I'll put it this way, my first one, and that's a system from the 1970s. There was a thing at one point where consoles, before you had the NESs, etc., and before you had really home computers like the C64s, the Apple IIs, there were these consoles that came with 6 games on it, usually with either a wheel you had to turn to choose the game, or a stick you moved up and down, you chose the game. And 2 controllers. This was really games like Pong. A lot of them came with a light gun, so you had to shoot at the TV, shoot a little marker. Everything was black and white. I tried to look it up. I know how it looks like. I remember what it looks like. I cannot find it on any listing for these consoles that existed back then. But the specs are the same. It's literally just a couple of companies made these things and sold it, and everybody packaged the same innards. So the same chips, the same ROM with the same games on it was pretty much available everywhere from so many different retailers.
So what you're saying is...
And a lot of them in America, a lot of them in Japan, but also here in Europe.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're actually looking for a deck of cards. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, close to. I think this came out just after chess.
Anyway, G, let's get back to the topic at hand. You were saying something along the lines of the fact that the NES is still in demand after 35 years?
Yeah, and that's just... It sort of...
Am I that old?
In mind that people want it.
Jeez.
Sorry?
Yeah, I realize now why you did this. I see now why you picked this whole topic. You just want to call me old. Fair enough.
Well, I literally started out with saying, isn't that the day you got born?
Yeah, I only just realized now, and then I'm reading the notes here. Yeah, bam, you're 35-year-old, you old git. Fuck, alright, well done, G.
Oh, the longest setup ever.
Oh, yes, I see. Oh, black and white, reading right in front of me, yeah.
Anyways, just to calm you down with all this NES stuff, the PlayStation 4 still sold the most in terms of US dollars on the US market.
To be honest, I don't see how it can't. It is the best system. It's better priced. It's so on and so forth. I just hope Microsoft learns from this and prices their console just as competitively whilst making it the best console, because to be brutally honest, I'm not necessarily loyal to PlayStation. If the Xbox One's better, I'll get an Xbox One,
Well, how about one that's even better?
Okay, is this, are we going across to China land, are we?
Yeah, because there's a Chinese company called, now I have to remember how to pronounce all the different ones, Zhongzhan, who's making a super console. Sorry, it's been a few years since I took Chinese lessons. They basically had AMD make a sort of a system on a chip thing. So you get a single chip that contains everything you need, more or less, meant for PCs and consoles, which is similar to the ones in the PlayStations and the Xbox, except with the latest CPU and latest GPU, and with a built-in RAM controller, etc. And then they're making, a Chinese games console and a Chinese computer, but the whole thing will probably run Windows.
I am a little bit hesitant to run out to the nearest shop and buy one, because if I'm not mistaken, the Chinese like to monitor things you do, and you can and cannot play various games and do various things because it makes certain people within certain places within China look bad. So if a game is, not, I don't want to get into politics here, but if it's not showing China or anyone in China in a positive light, you cannot play the game. It will not be on there. So, yeah.
Well, that's the weird thing. The whole monitoring thing, I can pretty much say no. There's 1.4 billion people over there. They don't monitor them that closely because there's just too many of them. The amount of data it would generate would be absurd. There are firewalls, there is the Great Firewall of China, etc. They monitor if you try to do something there. But by and large, they can't monitor that many people. The US is, a quarter the size? Yeah, just about. And they are running out of storage capacity regularly. Like, the facilities they have just for storing data is getting absurd.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit hesitant. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a massive thing on the internet where you can get your info deleted and, third-party access to your private detail information, all that jazz is all being sorted. Thank you very much for explaining to me again, G, for the 5th time. I just don't think my details, my information would be treated fairly if it was necessarily in that sort of console. Whereas, having said that, with the PS4, my details are probably have already been sold to a third-party client or whatever.
Dude, you have Facebook. you've been sold and bought.
Dude, I haven't been on Facebook in... to be honest, I haven't changed my profile status in 6 years. I haven't changed my background picture in 4. I hardly go on Facebook. Facebook is I don't have the use for it. I have no use for Facebook at all.
No, just saying, anything you've done there has been bought and sold.
Oh yeah, I'm with there. Zuckerberg, the almighty Lord Lizard dude, he's probably bought and sold everything. Now the thing is, right? Hasn't CCP also managed to break into the Chinese market just recently? Now that we're bringing up the Chinese console and CCP, because they're making an MMO game called Project Galaxy. Is this where you're going with this one, G?
Nope, not particularly. I just thought it was interesting with this AMD and try and compare it to like the Xbox and the PS4, because the whole thing they're putting in that one, just before we go over to CCP, I think it's probably about as powerful, at least, as the PS4 Pro. Like, the PS4 Pro uses a Jaguar cores in the CPU, this one uses Zen, so it's a later generation. Sony uses Polaris GPU cores, this one uses the latest Vega. There's fewer cores on both sides, and the CPU cores are clocked a little bit lower than on the PS4 Pro, but overall I think it looks like it should probably be about as powerful as a PS4 Pro. So it's just interesting that they're going that way. They're making their own thing. But as I said, it seems like it will probably run Windows. Like, where else should they get that amount of games that they need, etc. And just package it differently, package it nicely.
Hashtag Steambox confirmed.
It could be something like a Steambox. It's probably not a Steambox per se, but something along those lines.
To be fair, G, this is probably exactly what it is. If it's gonna be, I want to say, if it's made in China, right, it's gonna be fairly cheap, as in affordable. I don't think it's going to be sold at... Or have I just said something wrong there? Most things I buy from China are very affordable. What?
Yeah, so here's a fun thing. For completely unrelated reasons, I happen to know a little bit about production in China. When you go to a ODM, original device manufacturer, and say, hi, I'd like something like this, here's some specs, etc. If you give them exact specs, they can make it to that spec, no matter your price point. No matter what it'll cost, they can make it. So if you give them specs for something that's expensive, they'll make you something expensive. If they are genuinely being the ODM, they can usually offer you, like, you have a GoPro. They do their own cameras. They will sell you cameras, action cameras, like similar to GoPros, where you just get a price range. Like, oh, we can do this from $30 per part up to $300 or $400 per part. And when us foreigners, the foreign companies, go and say, okay, we'd like some action cameras, we'd like some of this, we'd like some of that, what are the prices? They give them these price ranges. And the Westerners consistently choose the cheapest option. But when the Chinese stores, the Chinese chains, go to these ODMs and say, we'd like these parts, they fairly consistently choose the expensive options, which means the stuff that are being sold inside China is not the cheap crap we buy. We buy per our choice, per Walmart's choice, per Tesco's choice, the cheapest crap, because that's what is being ordered. So it isn't that China makes cheap crap, it's that we ask them to make cheap crap, and internally, if a company sells cheap crap in China, they get slammed for it. The people goes, we're not buying that brand, because that's cheap crap.
Well, there we go. CCP don't make cheap crap. Make sure that Project Galaxy is expensive. Gee, that was quite enlightening. Well done.
It's just a weird thing. You can get these. You can get magazines. They're in Chinese that will show you what does it cost if you want 1,000 of these parts. You can find it there. Like Alibaba has it as well. You can find them online. There's a city that I can't remember what it's called right now. You can go literally to that city. They just make stuff. Like, it's just a factory city. And there's a street where you can only find Christmas stuff. Every company in that whole region, Guangzhou region, who makes Christmas stuff, will have a little stall on this street showing off their Christmas stuff, and you go up and say, oh, I'd like some of these. I'd like 1,000 of them. Here's my delivery address, or 10,000. And okay, I like that price point. And it's so absurd that it's just a street full of Christmas crap, and there's another street full of football crap, and there's a third street full of something else. It's amazing, brother.
Okay, G, I think you have to take me to China one day. I want to see the street of Christmas. Christmas street.
Yeah, as I said, it's just because it's what they sell, but they hang out all the stuff that they sell. It's right there. You don't buy them individually at these stalls. You probably could, but it's so that you can see, oh, we make this stuff. You can order them from us.
Awesome. I'm going to China. G, you taking me?
3.
Right, anyway, moving on to CCP and Project Galaxy. This was just recently announced, was it not, G-Man?
Sorry, Project Galaxy was announced a couple of months ago, originally, that they're doing it. And now they just put out a press release thing saying, oh yeah, we're handing over EVE Online in China to another company. So they're doing some changes. And by the way, also with that new company, we're releasing Project Galaxy, which is, i.e. they haven't given it a new name, which sounds sort of like they're taking everything that is EVE and distilling it down to a mobile platform. I don't think it will be on the EVE servers. That would be impressive if they did that. But it's EVE-ish, EVE Mobile-ish. And one of the things that is weird, they say they'll come out both on... Initially they just said iPhones, but now they say on all major or both major mobile platforms. But they keep harping on about ARKit too, which is an iPhone thing, augmented reality. You know the thing Booker kept talking about?
Oh, I remember Booker kept going on about AR. He's waiting for the big AR thing because that's where his heart lies. VR's a nice oasis, but he wants to go live in the jungle of AR, as he used to say. Yeah, okay, I don't think the technology's there for AR yet. This is why we have to work on the VR things now. I know the HobbyKit VR2 thing, or whatever you want to call it, coming out, or is alright, or whatever have you. I know they had CCP had quite good success with Gunjack. I know Jolly played it, he actually quite liked it. I played it, it was okay. It wasn't in EVE, it was an EVE skin over a shooting game. You know, that's the I took it. Yeah, I'd take that, yeah.
But I like the idea that they're doing something seemingly EVE-ish, might be, EVE Universe-ish, but using AR. Like, am I going to hold my phone up against my, let's say, table, and now on my table there's my ship? And can I then put my hand in front of my phone and manipulate my ship? What's the AR part they're not saying? So
well, if you think about it, G, it's going to be similar to that Pokemon Go game, right? This is where I reckon it's going, right? You've got your camera on your phone, and then as you're walking about, it's going to have various events spawned up because you're on Google Maps or the Apple version of Google Maps, which is probably Google Maps, and so on and so forth. And there's a Titan, there's this, there's that, you're on your Rifter, go and murder. I reckon that is what they're doing. That is what they're doing. They're doing an AR version of EVE. Obviously distilled down a whole lot more, but I reckon that's what they're doing.
That could be interesting. I mean...
Could be, they're doing it. It's not could be interesting, it is interesting. That's what they're doing. Confirmed. Bam confirms. Tinfoil is real, bro. Tinfoil is real.
Tinfoil it.
Tinfoil. Nothing like a bit of bacon grease tinfoil, bro. Around the old head. But no, think about it, right? EVE Online in China, right? It's what, 1.4 billion people? Massive, huge market. 1.4 billion people. Billion, right? Billion. The entire population of America, South America, Canada, Europe, whatever have you, can't match that population.
I think if you add South America, it would.
Well, okay, let's not add South America then. I was going to say Africa, but Africa, we can't really add Africa because that's a bit more. But
Nigeria, wow.
Wow, yeah, wow, Nigeria. Calm down, bro. Sit down. Sit in your hands, Nigeria. Sit in your hands. Anyway, it's just, a huge market, and if they're going to do something like that with that amount of people, well done, fair play, good job, CCP.
So now we know what they were talking about doing in the Shanghai office. Is Project Galaxy, and they're releasing it worldwide. I'll probably download it and try it if it's free to play. Or if they want a monthly subscription, I probably won't.
It'll be free to play. Pokemon Go's free to play, and they make millions. Hang on, Pokemon Go is free to play, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
I think so.
I think so. It is, isn't it?
It's on my kid's phone, so I assume so, because I've never given him money to buy anything.
I know someone that plays it. I'll go ask him if it's free to play. Great! Is Pokemon Go free to play?
It was actually a fun one. I loved it. Nintendo's market cap went up when Pokemon Go came out, until people realized it didn't really have anything to do with Nintendo.
And Nintendo got pissy about it. Okay.
I think they just went, oh, we should have been in on that. Niantic did a good one on it. They made good money off it.
No, seriously, G, this is what they're doing. They're doing a Pokemon Go version of Eve. That's what they're doing. There's no anticipated nothing. That's what they're doing. That's it. Bam, tinfoil confirmed. Done.
I'll take your word for it. At least until we see a press release.
But don't need no press release, bro. Bam, tinfoil. Bacon grease tinfoil, bro. Never wrong.
Well, I did reach out in a slightly cheeky tweet on the Tweety to CCP Grendel to ask him if we can have a sit down, talk with them. Will there be a Gamescom so we can ask them about these projects? Nope. But they'll be there next year, perhaps, because they have big things, as you said.
They've just got to work out the bugs. Maybe the Goon Swarm Titan, or rather, maybe Pyrex's Titan, just needs a lick of paint because it's all covered in fecal matter and it smells of urine. So they've got to wash it out and give it a bit of lick of paint. Yeah, that's what's happened there.
Well, perhaps that's why it's not until next year. It's because they need Uncle Pyrex to sign off on it and say that, yeah, he will play it.
Well, there we go.
So, Bam, do we have anything else?
Yes, you have got the Segway mastery sorted today, dude. You mentioned Gamescom with CCP Grendel. I love that name. Grendel. Right now, you're going to Gamescom and the Bamsters. You are representing us as a journalist. For the first time ever, the Bamsters have a press pass. We are now officially journos. Well done, everyone at the Bamsters. You've worked hard for this journo title. Real life journalists, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can say that a couple of us have been investigating if we can go to journalism school. Apparently not.
There's a school for journalism? Wait, what? There is? Is there really?
It's called university.
Oh, is that what they call it? Oh, right. And when I was at university, it was a case of engineering, bro. Engineering's, bruh.
But you're right. We've been asking for press passes. We've been given one. Gamescom, that's me. PAX West, we didn't get. They didn't like us. And EGX, we didn't get either. That's the same company. I guess there's something. I don't know what. But that means I'm not heading to Birmingham in September. But I blame
Drake. I blame Drake. It's Drake's fault.
Yeah, it's Drake's fault. Particularly the PAX West thing.
Don't say that. You'll get emotional and start stressing out. No, come now, bro. Seriously.
But no, we are already stressing out. I am, at least. We're getting all the emails. We're getting all the requests. We're going, hi, we have a product. Wouldn't you like to talk to us? Sure? When?
The amount, the deluge of requests and the wow, for once people are coming to ask us rather than us going to ask them. It's quite a nice change. There's how many PR companies have contacted you now, G? Like 16, 17? Wow, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, G. A lot of work ahead of us. Well done.
Yeah, we replied to some of them. We said, yeah, we'd love to see your game. Will the developers be there? Can we talk to the developers? Are they okay if we record them? Can we put a mic on them? Can we put a camera in front of them? It's going to be interesting. A lot of them are... some are not replying. Some are just going, oh shit, we're getting too many replies because we're not the only ones getting this deluge. Everybody are. Somebody sent us an email the other day. Hi, we'd like to show us our game. Went, yeah, sure, why not? We ran out of PlayStations. Can you do Steam? So,
oh yeah, that was That was I know exactly the game you're talking about. That's fine. That's fine. We'll take the Steam card, Steam key. We'll give it to Drag. You know, he's got a lot of powers in the PC worlds. You know, he's got the PC Master Race power, and I'll just sit in the corner. You know, rocking myself because I don't have a key. Because that game looks really cool. I really want to play that game. Really cool game, that.
Other things are like one contacted us. They want to show us some PC technology, and they wrote the whole thing in in French. Like we're officially an UK English outlet technically. We're going to a German event. They sent the email in French. I could read it, but still, that's probably not what you want to do. You want to send it in. I'm impressed. I haven't gotten any in German. I have not. That's a bit weird, but no. Even from German companies, we're getting them in English. But that one in French was a little bit. I appreciate what you're doing. Step it up,
dude. Do it. Just do it, and get some French lessons from your daughter, and then review it in French.
I have to be careful because I already promised one French person that I will meet them, just a private meet and greet. I don't want them to start expecting me to actually speak French. Interesting. Now, you see, guys, we can't really tell you which games we've got and which PR companies are. We can tell about PR companies, can't we, Jay? We can tell them about that? Which ones PR companies we're speaking to? No, that's the thing. We can't... People, it isn't that we don't want to, it's just we don't want to be seen as if we're claiming that we have some kind of relationship with these companies. So we're kind of saying, we're getting the emails, we're getting all these requests. There's some awesome games out there. Yeah. Holy wow, there's some great stuff. And it's
some really good looking games, I agree with you, yeah.
The reason I keep coming back to Gamescom is because of things like Indie Arena. And they are doing something again. We're not with them, but what do they call Future Friends? It's one of the PR companies we're not doing anything with, but which has a lot of really interesting games coming. Or they're just promoting them. They're not publishing them. It's purely PR. And it's one of those time slots. They all say every hour we have a new time slot. It's 40 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, 20 minutes. So there's a limit of them. And you want to go to all of them, but you can't. That's part of my stress. Which ones do I have to say no to? Which ones do I ask for? Which ones will I get a no from? Which ones am I just going to say, I'm not going to look at your game because I don't have time?
Well, the best part about that is you can do all of them. You can go to the ones that you have time for that fit into the schedule of you being at Gamescom, and for the other ones you say, yes, we will speak to you guys, we will take your name and number, and we will get back in touch with you, and that will be rather soon, and you'll have a crazy American or an utterly crazy, or even crazier rather, South African talking to you about.
Oh yeah, and just to know, we will be there in case anybody wants to meet us there. We will be there from Tuesday around noon, a little bit before noon, until mid-ish, late-ish afternoon Thursday. So the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before all the people show up. Unfortunately, that means this time we won't get all the cosplay pictures, the cosplay competitions, etc. We'll be not in the main hall, we'll be over in the business areas, so also there'll be fewer environmental clips, etc., but we'll try and get some footage, we'll try and get some pictures.
Yes. We have managed to send you a GoPro, G, and a tripod, and various attachments and bits and pieces, so please, when you get them, please tell me, so I can stop stressing about that equipment, because, as a CFO, it's an expensive kit, man. It's expensive gear. Yes.
I should have just put in a request for you to, buy one on Amazon, but I guess we don't have that kind of budget.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah. So, what do you people think we should do at Gamescom? Is there anything you want us to look at? We still have a few slots back. We can still, still ask people, can we come and look at your thing? Wait, can we come and look at your game?
Yeah, better. Much better. I like that. One better. Not the thing part, leave that alone.
Yeah, and if anybody wants us to show up at their booth or, just wants to say hi, we will have... last time when we didn't go officially, but just me running off, We had Grit manning the Tweety, and I think we'll do that again. We'll have Bamm and Drac manning the video editing, or audio editing, or whatever editing we need. So you can just poke us, and, there should be a stream of bullshit coming out from us those 3 days.
Oh, well, hang on a minute now, dude. We are, excuse me while I overinflate our egos massively. We are now certified, qualified, in every way, shape, and form journalists. It won't be bullshit. It'll be creme de la creme.
Oh yeah, but as I just said, we'll let Grit handle the Tweety, so, I saw what he was doing last time. He was trying to promise people they could just come and be given free food by me.
Wait, what? Grit was promising free food?
Oh yeah, there was one, if you find a guy who looks like this and then he included a description of me, just tell them you want free food or want a lunch or something. I said, no, don't do that.
No, dude, seriously, that's just
I'll be easy to recognize.
Yeah, that's good humor though, isn't it?
But it should be easy to find me. I'll be the guy in sandals, severely overweight, and with a braid.
Oh, your daughter's braiding your hair for you, mate. Sweet. Good shout. No, listen, G, I've got a few questions for you, man, when you go across there, just to help ease the nerves and see where, what, and how, like, dude. Are you going to go and just go as many as you can, or you've got a criteria of what are you specifically looking for in a game before you go there? Are you looking for the people behind the game, looking for the game itself? Are you looking for 2D platformers? Are you looking for 3D environments? What's piquing your interest, G, when it goes to, Gamescom? I'm not saying the cosplay will never pique your interest. I'm saying what games interest you.
So as I keep saying, the indie games, because I find that a whole lot more interesting. And there are games that don't interest me personally. The card games tend to be less interesting. That's just my personal preference, so unfortunately I have a tendency to skip those. But I'm hoping, there'll be a Swedish and Finnish booth full of games. I'm gonna go just check them out. There will be the indie arena. I'm just gonna go walk around, see what there is. There isn't so much. I'm not gonna be there to check out. There's a whole bunch of merchandise. Merchandising is not interesting to me. I think it's cool. I think it's nice that it's there. Compared to something like the MCM Comic Con in London, that's pure merchandising. There's nothing else. Same down here in Belgium. Brussels Comic Con and what was the other one? Ghent Comic Con is pure merchandising. At least these places, if they have a game that you can see, if they have developers of any kind that you can talk to, and yes, anybody who works on a game is a developer. Shut up with that stuff. Then, I shall happily go and look. That's my criteria. Is there anything interesting? Then I'm interested.
Well, believe it or not, G, I'm actually poking Cosmic Picnic as we speak, because I swear those boys, they've got the gift of making good games. I'm gonna also see if Black Hive Media are gonna be across there, maybe a few of other European friends, and you can go and have a chat and have a coffee morning, or perhaps maybe a cheeky bit of tipple after.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss out on them. The Warframe party is Thursday night, so I'm gonna miss that one because I'm heading home Thursday. The Star Citizen event is it Friday or Saturday? I'm gonna miss out on that one. There might be some PR stuff Tuesday, Wednesday that I'll have to have a look at, but I think I'm gonna skip most of the parties. It's just when you're slightly broken, there's things you have to accept that you can't do.
Pure business, G. I like it. That's the mark of a good professional journalist. Pure business. Parties are for children. Journaling is for men and peoples of that nature.
I'm gonna argue it's the other way around, because one, journalists are known for drinking heavily. The stereotype of a journalist with a whiskey bottle in his drawer exists for a reason. But also, it's called socializing. It's called mingling.
Oh, right. You want to mingle with other publishers? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something, but I have no idea what it is, and I know that I'm useless at it.
Free food! If you find a guy with the Viking look on his face and braids in his hair, he owes you lunch. Just because. That's it. He owes you lunch. Well done, Grit. He owes you lunch. I'll include a picture.
Since you're the CFO, I shall send you the bills.
No. I don't owe them lunch. You owe them lunch, bro. That's your problem.
But yeah, I have no idea what we're going to do, just to keep things running. But it'll be a few interesting days. It's, as I said, as Bamm said, it's the first time we're doing this in this fashion, where we're actually setting up meetings and we're heading out to talk to people. So we have no clue what we're doing.
Big news, people! Big news! The Bamsters are finally journalists. We've worked how long for this now? 2 years. We've been given the chance, and we're probably going to blow it completely. But we're going to give it a damn good old, a good old try.
I'm going to give it the old one too. Yes.
Hang on. The Cosmic Picnic guys are just replying. Hang on. I can see them typing away. 2 secs. Come on. Please be good news. Please be good news. Please be good news. Seriously, if they're going, you've got to meet them. They're a great bunch of guys, G. Honestly, great sense. They're your kind of peoples, bro. Actually, no way, hang on. They are your peoples, bro.
No, they're not. They're Swedish.
Same difference. They're Vikings, you're Vikings. Problem?
You can't be a Viking. Viking is something you do.
Tell that to, Findisfarne, whatever. Lindisfarne.
Yeah, Lindisfarne. That's where they went Viking.
Right, guys, anyway, that is it from us. Yes, big news this week. The Bamsters are journalists, finally. We'll be given the opportunity, and we're probably going to blow it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, from me, Bamm Havoc, I've got one more question. The ultimate question. The penultimate question. I love that. I love it so much. G, bacon question time.
Okay.
However, this will be a twist, because I'll be asking it. And there's another twist. I'm going to go Midnight Shyamalan on you, right? Now, if grit were a bacon, and you had to eat that bacon, what bacon would you be? And then, what drink would you drink to accompany the bacon of grit?
If grit was a bacon, he would be seaweed. Bacon-flavored seaweed. And to rinse him down, I'm going to go with Klingon blood wine.
You had to go Star Wars, didn't you? Good God. Geek. Nerd.
Star Wars?
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. I'll tell Captain Picard to tell his Chewbacca look-alike to go sit down, stop being security officer or whatever.
Yeah, I think you're stuck in 1992.
Dude, Worf was great. Don't tell me he wasn't. My favourite character.
But I'm just saying he wasn't on the Enterprise for that long.
No, he wasn't. But Worf was my favourite character, honestly. Really was my favourite character.
He's tall and smelly and hairy. Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Yep. Anyway, guys, that is it. Grit is seaweed, and he likes wine. Which is okay. That's okay. Grit, you're seaweed. Change your hashtag to seaweed grit. Done, dusted. Guys, from me, Bamm Havoc.
And from me, G.
Lovely, guys. I'll see you later. Toodaloo.
See you next time. Ciao.